Hi, I'm Chad from Team Forge, and this is LSP Talks, where I use the method and materials of LEGO Serious Play to have rich conversations with interesting people. And today I'm here with Adam Poetsch. Adam is a student of physiotherapy at Uni SA in your final year? Third year, close to, feels like the final year. And is also a kind of project officer and data guru in the Teaching Innovation Unit at University of South Australia. And so, as with every one of these, there's like about half a dozen things we could talk about or questions that we could set. But what we settled on today is build a model that represents your career or your career progression through your life in the past few years or something like that. We're both going to build the same model, but build your career in LEGO. All right? Cool. Let's go.
All right.
So this is a bit of a different build. Often we'll do builds that are about concepts or mental models. This one's actually really focused on storytelling, and LEGO is really great for that. I mean, you see kids play with LEGO and they just intuitively, just spontaneously just tell stories about what they're building. It's amazing. So we can do the same thing here. That's kind of what we're doing. So this is a good question actually, because LEGO is really good for telling stories, but also particularly good for reflection and people reflecting on their own lives, where they've been, where they're going. It's a good way of telling a story about the past and the way you can inflect stories in different ways, give different versions of stories, but also the way you can project into the future. So that's good. You done?
Almost.
Getting close.
Almost.
Oh wow, look at this.
Sticking with the turtle.
Why not? Well, the question relates to your tower, doesn't it really? Kind of, the two are kind of linked. And that's one of the things you do with a workshop. Like obviously when we're doing this, it's really short and really quick.
Mm-hmm.
A workshop can go for half a day or a full day or several days, where you kind of iterate and build and kind of like, it's a really long-term thing. So, yeah, me too. All right. Okay, so we've done the question, and the question was build your career path or career progression over the past few years of your life. We've done the build, so we built our models, and now we're at share time. So I went first last time. I'll let you go first this time. Tell me about your career in LEGO.
Cool. It's obviously been a very long career. So I think for me, you start out with your stepping stones, you're in high school, you progress through, you might go to uni, or you might lose a few ladders along the way. But in essence, you have a little bit of more stability and you slowly progress your way up. And then you hit this little bit of a plateau and you're not too sure what you want to do in life. And then you all
Is that after high school?
Yeah, so let's just say after high school. And then you kind of plateau into a career. So for me, I managed at Toys R Us for a few years and did retail management, did quite well in it. But then at some stage, it fell off into the nice little gap there and I hit the wall.
Yep.
Which is what this is all symbolic of. That was at that stage where I decided to break the wheel. And then
What do you mean break the wheel? Like,
as in, you're in a cycle of, this is my life, this is how I have to live life, I have to go to work, I have to do this job, I have X amount of mortgage money that I have to pay per month or whatever, and you find yourself in this cycle, and until you actually sit there and you go, hey, I can actually expand my life, I can expand my horizons, I can break the cycle, I can break the wheel. And now I can actually progress forward. So the big wall, the wheel breaking, they go together for me because I think everyone at some stage hits a wall in life and you're sitting there going, what am I doing, why am I doing this for? And then somewhere along the line, you just have that light bulb moment of, oh, what if I did that? And then, okay, you start building upon it. And then, for example, I went to work on oil rigs. I did geology and oil rigs. From there, I studied business management, which was my first ladder up.
So were you starting, was it like you were starting again?
Yes.
Yeah,
because I mean, ultimately at the end of the day, this all serves a foundation to get you to where you want to be, and it all play some part.
Yep.
But it does feel like you're starting again after you've broken this barrier, and you go, well, now all of a sudden I'm doing this, so I'm
reborn sort of
yeah,
almost,
It's like you outgrow the pond that you were previously in. You're now the same size fish, but you're in a bigger pond, so everything still feels bigger to you.
Yep.
And then you've got that nice big steep learning curve, and that's what this first one is when I've done my business management degree.
Yep.
That's when I went to Santos and started doing contract management and data analytics. So that was my first foray into data.
Yep.
As you can see, the path has narrowed somewhat as well. So
yeah.
So I basically started going into data management, and the gradient of my well, that has changed a bit there, because I was like, oh cool, this is where I want to go. I'm starting to slow down now into my career that I'm more happy with. And then again, there's a bit of a wall there, and you're just like, well, is this really kind of where I want to go? Actually, it should probably be more like down there, like that.
Because you had that drop off again?
Had the drop off again, yeah. And I think that you've kind of got to experience that to be able to go forward.
A bit of loss.
I think at some stage you commit so much time and energy into where you want to go that when you do decide to change direction or to refine your direction, that you do take that bit of a step back. Not always, but I feel like in some cases you still take that step back to sit there and go, oh, well, I feel like now I'm changing, that I'm not quite where I was, but I haven't started at the bottom again. I'm a bit higher up now.
Yeah.
And that's where the career change into physiotherapy and I guess a lot of personal injuries through my life and helping other people out led me towards this particular career.
Yep.
But I'm still using the foundation of business management and my data analysis to be able to do the work with data analytics for the university.
Yeah.
And
all of everything that you've taken from that builds in. So So
yeah.
you're not completely starting afresh.
No, not completely. But there is still that drop off. And then at the end here, physio's been a pretty steep curve. It's been a very, very big change.
Steep.
That is super steep.
Tell me about that. Like, so the ladder's steep, it's harder to go up.
And I haven't even reached the end yet, which is why it doesn't go all the way to the top run.
You're looking
so
up there.
You are essentially changing paradigms, you're changing how you see the world, you're changing how you think about health and well-being in people in general. You are taking in a lot of new information about the human body and how people work in as well. So I think a lot for me has evolved in terms of, I guess, understanding the human psyche and how people operate, because you get exposed to a lot more. And
as well as all the technical stuff, the medical anatomy, and
which is just intense. It's
a lot there.
So full on. Which is why you've got this narrow little pedestal at the end where the turtle is sitting atop of, because it's taken this guy about 20 odd years to get to where he is at the moment. But he's going to get there and the goal's going to be worth it. But you still have that level of uncertainty of, well, I've travelled this really rocky path, I've gotten here, I don't know quite what it's going to be like when I get there.
So sorry about that, but the video broke at that stage of the conversation and I lost the original file, so sorry about that. But thank you, Adam, for the conversation and for telling us your story so far about your career and where it's gone and where it's been. What I find particularly interesting about that is that it's not a story that's linear or direct or straight. It's full of disjuncts, dead ends, uncertainties, things that you weren't sure about, going back and forth, and that's exactly the kind of complex career story I'm really interested in hearing. So thanks very much for that, Adam, and thanks for watching.